Alright, well, give me a sec. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another installment of the Singapore Pokken Weekly. This is number 116. We've got some players coming in from the Australian side. Notably, Jamesibell is here, whom we usually don't see in this tournament, so that's going to be pretty exciting. Although he's entered under the name Greg for some reason. Like, not just on the challenge, but also here in-game for some reason. Like, don't be fooled by that name, that is James. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Also, he's playing Darkrai for some reason. I don't think he normally does, yeah.
This is gonna be interesting now. It's been a while since we've had some great matches here. And of course, I mean, we have been doing weekly things, but you know, we see new things every week. And now we are going to be seeing Darkrai.
Yep, so I believe he's playing Darkrai because Kaiko was going to play here and he was going to play Darkrai, but because he was busy with other things, he couldn't make it, so James was like, I'm gonna play Darkrai in your stead. So I don't know if he actually knows how to play the character. I mean, there's a really good chance he does know like some basics and stuff, but I don't know how well versed or an expert his Darkrai is, you know? So it might be interesting. I mean,
Right,
so
but
far,
look at this pressure right now coming from James. Never mind, Enigma gets the side switch and now putting in the pressure into James, and now gets the CA. No, not gonna get the CA. Enigma gets through it.
yeah, so Enigma also playing a non-standard character. I mean, she does have a pocket Aegislash. I've seen her pull it out before, but yeah, I mean, so we've got two players here who are both not playing their mains. You know, they're doing some very weird stuff. I don't know if we'll see super optimal stuff, but it might be quite a lot of scrambles and quite a lot of stuff there. James just spent all his stocks to try and land Nightmare, but it doesn't matter anyway. So, do you know how Darkrai works, JJ?
Right. So, how Darkrai works is, well, at least based on how I've seen Darkrai users play Darkrai, is to make use of Nightmare a lot, and there's a lot of JFs for there's a lot of JFs for Darkrai as well. So now we have the Nightmare coming in, Dark Void rather, not a Nightmare.
Yeah, the mode we call it Bad Dreams Rising mode, but Nightmare mode is also a pretty common term. So the goal here is for James to land Dark Void and then get it to deal with Nightmare. Because if he goes into deal without it, like there for example, he just shifted with CA, which normally would be bad, yeah, and he has the right idea. See, he wants to immediately get back out of it, so he goes to grab. So
right, I mean,
yep.
Darkrai's pretty good, even without the Dark Void, but you know, the potential of Darkrai could only be attained, you know, the maximum potential could only be attained with the Dark Void, but right now they have popped their burst.
Especially against another character like Aegislash, who is powerful in both modes regardless of what it is. You really don't want to be in dual phase without Nightmare. He's trying to set it up there, but the problem with it is you can land fully charged Dark Void, which is the big ball instead of the droplets, and that will basically go through block. It doesn't do any damage, but it will force the shift. But it's also very reactable if you do it that way. And,
nice punish from Enigma.
It was actually a little risky as well there for him to use the burst attack without being in Nightmare, because with Nightmare it is frame 1 invincible, I believe, or it's either frame 1 or frame 2. But without it, there's a huge vulnerability period at the start, so he was lucky that he caught Enigma pressing buttons in between. I just realized the characters are wrong on the overlay as well. Don't mind me while I fix them.
But here we have it now. Of course, James not using this as a Suiken right now, but like, here we go. Coming in with the pressure, James still putting Enigma into the corner, but it doesn't matter as Enigma is going to get a phase shift, and now the pressure is on James, even though the corner is now in Enigma's side. Really interesting, but now gets the Dark Void.
Yeah,
James
he can
trying to get some pressure in.
Yep, he's found a little knockdown. Looking for a combo starter though. Fortunately, Enigma's taking advantage of the corner positioning here, going into burst. This is actually really bad. Mimikyu is out. She tried to do a pseudo unblockable there. not quite landing though. You need to teleport out. Okay, that's the orbs spent there. Oh, but
here's the thing though.
lands, yeah.
The only way for James to be able to get away from this is if they're gonna be able to get in the burst. But never mind, there's gonna be a rock paper scissors situation here, and Enigma is gonna be taking the first game.
There was a pretty surefire way that he could have closed that stock out, but I think Enigma was probably aware of it. So you know about Dark Void? Sorry, not Dark Void. Dream Eater. Yep.
Right.
So it's a very powerful command grab. Darkrai gets it only while he's in Bad Dreams Rising mode. It's a very high damage command grab. You don't want to get hit by it. It's like comparable to.
And
it's comparable to like double debuff hex. It's like on that level of you don't want to get hit by it. And if he landed at
and
that,
it also guarantees the Dark Void after.
No, it doesn't. It shifts. It's an automatic shift back to Feud after immediately after it.
Oh sure, right.
Yeah,
My
it's a
bad.
command grab. Yep. But yeah, so if he landed that, he would have won. But Annie was pressing like throw crush buttons anyway, so she was aware of it, and that just didn't work out for her. Yep, and you can see that this is not a bad position again. He can try and do some stuff here, but Slash definitely has the huge advantage here. So you see that mist, for example, that Annie sets up. That blows up if Annie does any stance changes. So that entire area is a huge hitbox that's like potential hitbox that's waiting to happen. So he's got to be careful. I guess another thing that you may have just noticed there. So you saw little orbs rotating around Darkrai's midsection, right? So he gets one of those for every phantom he sets out. The phantoms being the traps that he can place out. For example, that's a trap, like the rift. You see, he's just got one, and that's another one. He's trying to set those up. So the orbs can be used for two different things. One of them is to spend them for buffs, which he did just now with the bow. The second one, he tried to do it there, but it didn't work out. So the second one, which is one of the biggest tools that Darkrai needs to be able to use, is release charge A. So the more orbs he has, the bigger the range that attack is. It's a huge counter-piercing hitbox, especially when you have 4 orbs. And it's one of the strongest tools that he has, even if he's stuck in duo without Bad Dreams Rising. Because of the stun that you get off it, it easily sets up for Bad Dreams Rising after. So you've got to be so keeping an eye on the stocks on Darkrai is a very important thing. Yeah, you see there? That's what it was. He just spent it. So that's what you gotta be looking out for. But yeah, Jamesibell, off of this one phase with Bad Dreams Rising, is making a lot of good use of it. But yeah, back to duo again without it. So keep an eye out. See, there you go. He landed it, and this is gonna be the. He could have confirmed into Nightmare mode there, but you know, HP low, so you could just kill off that. So yeah, that's how Darkrai works. He's a bit of a complex character compared to some of the others, but yep, that's pretty much all the stuff there is to him.
Right, and how Darkrai is really played is, as you mentioned, is just really complex, and you need to have a lot of setups for it to just be viable. But look at this right now. Speaking of viable, Enigma is really doing some work here against James, and not gonna let them come to their sides. And just like that, Enigma is really doing such a great job into zoning James here. You know, you don't want Darkrai to be beside you. You don't want Darkrai to be beside you, especially with 4 stacks, maybe even just 3 stacks, because just like that, you're gonna get pressured up. But Enigma decides to get away from that pressure by popping up the burst.
Yep, and he actually.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that's gonna.
James is going to get this.
It's not gonna be anywhere enough to kill, but Rage Burst attack will do quite a decent amount. And yep, we'll see how this goes though. Darkrai still is in a bit of a disadvantaged state because he's gotta be careful. Slash, one of the most snowball characters in the game, but he finds the charge and just gonna give him down.
Oh, gets a stun.
Yep. Any stun off of Infused, he's gonna use, and the counter attack. Okay.
There we have it. We have a 1-1 now. I believe this was best of 3, right?
Yep. This is winners final, so first to 3 will be advancing. And Darkrai is once you pretty much know each of Darkrai's traps. He's not too hard to understand for the most part. The only other big complex thing about him is his stocks, which that's like, you know, once you learn about them, like, oh, what are those little orbs circling around his midsection, then yeah, it's pretty simple. And yeah, like if the stuff in field, for example, I'll point them out as we go to take a look. Although the way James is playing, he's not really setting up a lot of these traps. So that's one of them. That's the mirror. So that's charged forward, forward X, I believe. If you charge it, then at the end of it, a small mirror will appear, which will stay on the field as a hitbox. If you run into it, that stuns you. That does set up one orb. And yeah, I'll point out another one if he does one. So yeah, rifts are considered phantom traps as well. So those are 2 more. And there he spent them for the buffs. He's got attack up and defense up. He's feeling a little cocky though. You wouldn't normally do the bow in the middle of it. So yeah, he's just setting up rifts. So there's the mirror again. He set that up and he got another orb. So he's got 3 at the moment. But yep, as much as those orbs are resources, life is also a resource. So James playing a little bit dangerous there, I guess. Trying to do a lot of close range setups. He's not really playing zoning Darkrai, which is what you'd normally see. Darkrai in field is pretty much a trap zoner. So you want to be seeing that, but yeah. James is playing very aggressive for Darkrai. He's going in for mirror stuns, and he actually went for 2 in a row there, and he set up for 2 orbs, and he put 2 rifts down. Now he's at 4. So Annie's got to be really careful now. Okay, now she can rest easy a little bit because she's spent the stocks. But James is running Farfetch, which is another lockdown support, so you gotta be careful. And yeah, Annie just found the hit confirm. So this will equalize it a little bit, but she is going to be running out of burst here, and James will be able to have his ready in a second too. Wow, that's gutsy. Shield stands right in the face.
So here you have it. James though popping up to burst.
He's not actually in Nightmare mode yet still, but oh no.
Enigma doesn't have any burst anymore, but James here still has it. Are we gonna see it popped up? Yes, sir. After the teleport, but gets blocked.
Oh, that was actually okay. So without Nightmare, I believe that's unsafe as well if you do it up close. And he tried to grab punish it, but was a little bit too far away. And there was a little bit of a scramble, but Annie wins out in the end. So that's 2 to her.
And this, I guess, you know, we're just a C. Oh, wait, not it's not a best of 3 then. It's a best of 5.
Yeah, best of 5, first to 3.
Right, first to 3, and here we have it. Let's find out if Enigma is gonna be taking this home, because you know, they're already at 2, and of course James is still at 1. So it only needs Enigma only needs 1 more win to be able to get into the grand finals. Let's find out. James versus Enigma, still not using their mains, still with the Darkrai and the Aegislash. Let's find out.
Yeah, so James gets the first shift, but again he's in duel without it. But alright, he does have combos, so that's a setup into Nightmare. So one of the other things, well, that's Dream Eater, but the damage, I think he's dead, yeah, that's it. That was a lot of damage, wasn't it? Okay, so there's another trap that you can set up, that's forward Y. The hands, as we like to call them. Gives you an orb as well, and if you do nasty plot after, you can trigger the traps, and for the hands case, they make a little wave of hands that track towards the opponent. Annie getting a little bit of shield stuns combos here, and she's just rushing him down. He needs to get out of the fog here. Unfortunately, he's still unable to get out. Teleports out, finds a CA, but unfortunately, Cry's CA doesn't really give you too much to work with after you land it. Drops the combo regardless. Oh, that's going to punish the King's Shield attempt. And and we're gonna get Dark Void.
Right, another one here. Of course, Dark Void popping the burst for both of them. Ooh, Enigma trying to poke James out and gets the grab, going to go in for a phase shift, and now,
oh my gosh,
Enigma is gonna get punished.
Yeah, so that was really risky. The thing about shield stuns with Aegislash is while you do have permanent armor while it's up, you can't block. And she stayed in there to zone him, so yeah, that's just unfortunate. Yep, so there's the hands traps, and then there's the nasty plot activation after. And he just slowly glides over in the cube. Oh, caught pressing buttons on Flash Cannon. He's trying to close this out though. 10 seconds left on the clock. Going for zoning, both of them. Oh, hand traps. Clone explosion.
They can. That's what's good about Darkrai and Aegislash here. Knowing the fact that both of these Pokemon can just do some, zoning, some zoning, which is really good for their kid. They could be a rushdown, or they could be a zoner as well, compared to other characters that could only be a rushdown or could only be, a zoner. But these are characters that could do both. And now we're back into the Dark Void. James has the advantage here, but never mind. As I mentioned, that Enigma is bringing James into the air. Huge damage.
Yeah, Slash's damage is pretty ridiculous, but James is sending her right back into duel with Nightmare mode up, putting up the traps. But he's not out of the woods here, though. If he gets touched one more time, he's dead. He's actually dead. Oh, he messed up a little bit on the charge A combo. Yeah, and he now has burst. It's gonna be really dangerous, unfortunately for him. Oh, okay, he busts out of the Mimikyu. He takes the trade, but I think that was almost it. And just ticked off for the
gets
win.
a grab.
So just like that.
It?
Yep, and he's going to be taking that. She's going to be advancing. Oh, that's the wrong overlay. Well, it was an attempt, but Annie got the better of Greg, I guess. That's just how it goes sometimes. I'm actually not sure what the consensus is on this matchup. I imagine Darkrai doesn't like this matchup very much because he loses in very little interactions against Slash. But yeah, and he does advance, and we'll be seeing Jamesibell again in Losers Finals as he takes a dive.
Right.